Hello, dear students. Good morning to all. In the previous class, we have seen the introduction for the Egyptian civilization and the Egyptian society. We have seen the different classes of society. And today we are going to deal with the occupations and crafts, trade and commerce. In the introduction, we have seen Nile River as a boon to Egypt. Nile River was a great boon for Egypt because Egyptian civilization was located in Sahara Desert, but the Nile River gave them enough water and facilities for transport and all. And today, let us begin with the occupations and crafts. Agriculture was the main occupation of ancient Egyptian. We have seen in Mesopotamian civilization and Indus Valley civilization, they were all dependent on the rivers. The Indus Valley civilization was dependent on the Indus River, and Mesopotamian civilization was dependent on Tigris and Euphrates rivers, and Egyptian civilization was dependent on Nile River. And because of this river, the agriculture was the main occupation of ancient Egyptians. For its success, they had to control the flood waters of the Nile and use it accordingly to their need. So sometimes there can be flood because of this river, and they want to control this flood. At the same time, they need to use the water for their irrigation. The engineers and the mathematicians of Egypt of those days dug canals, made reservoirs to store water, and dikes. Dikes means dams to control its flow. So what they have done to control the flood, they have made canals, they have made reservoirs and dams to control its flow. So the Egyptian civilization, the people in Egypt had controlled the flow of Nile River, and they have utilized this river, and they made a successful use of this water, so that the main occupation of Egyptian society was agriculture. The main crops they grew were wheat, barley, millet, flax, cotton, and fruits like apples, dates, peach, figs, as well as vegetables. So the main crops were wheat and all, and they have cultivated different fruits and vegetables also. Secondly, as we have seen in all other civilizations, Egyptian civilization also domesticated animals like cows, pigs, sheep, goats, donkeys, and camels, and birds such as doves and geese. And horse was used by them for drawing the chariots during war and peace. That means they have domesticated animals, almost all types of animals, and they have used the horse for chariots during the war and peace. And they had the crafts like pottery, spinning and weaving flax, cloth making, glassware, jewelry making, carving on ivory and wood, furniture making, boat building, and paper making were quite well developed in Egypt of those days. So, when we look at the occupation and craft, the first and foremost thing is that they have utilized the Nile River, and they have controlled the flow of Nile River with the help of canals and dams, reservoirs, and all. And they have cultivated crops like wheat, barley, millet, etc. They have even fruits and vegetables also. So, agriculture was the main occupation. Secondly, they have domesticated animals like cows, pigs, sheep, goat, donkeys, etc. Even they have used horse for their chariot during war and peace. And when we look at the craft, they have pottery, spinning, weaving, and carving on ivory and wood, jewelry making, furniture making, boat building, even paper making were also quite well developed in Egypt of those days. That is all about the occupations and craft. Let us go to the next one, trade and commerce. Trade and commerce were in the hands of the king and his nobles. The king is called as Pharaoh, and they have exported cloth, jewelry, glassware, etc., and imported gold, ivory, and other items of luxury like oils, perfumes, silver, and timber. So they had exporting and importing. They have exported clothes, jewelry, glasswares, etc. And they have imported the luxury items like gold, ivory, and other items, oils, perfumes, silver, timber, etc. And they have utilized the Nile River for their transport. And donkeys and camels were used for the transport in the land. So when we look at the trade and commerce, the main thing is that the king and the nobles, the pharaoh and his nobles were handled the export and import. They have exported cloth, jewelry, glasswares, and they have imported gold, ivory, perfumes, oils, etc. And the transport was mainly through the Nile River with the help of boat, and they have used donkeys and camels for the transport in the land. That is all about trade and commerce. Dear students, we have seen the occupation and craft. When we look at the occupation and craft, the first thing is that they have utilized it. They have controlled the flow of Nile River with the help of canals, reservoirs, and dams. And they have utilized this water for agriculture. They have cultivated wheat, barley, and fruits and vegetables, many. And the next occupation was domestication of animals. They have domesticated cows, pigs, sheep, goat, donkeys, etc. And even they have used horse for chariot and during war and peace. And when we look at the craft, they had pottery, spinning, weaving, cloth making, carving on ivory and wood, furniture making, boat building, etc. And this is all about occupations and craft. And when we look at the um, trade and commerce, king and his nobles handled the trade and commerce, and they have exported clothes, jewelry, glasswares, etc. And they have imported gold, silver, ivory, and oils, perfumes, etc. Dear students, read the portion, underline the important points, write down those important points in your copy with the title, and learn it. Have a nice day. God bless you all.